Welcome to the second course module of the Masterclass on Good Nutrition. And in this module, we're going to attempt to answer the question, what is good nutrition? Now, if you missed the first module, you can catch it on the Smoothie Lovers channel on YouTube. We've got all 6 modules of this course posted there. So our agenda for today is we're going to review the standard American diet. We'll discuss a better approach to nutrition, and finally, what to do if you're simply too busy to change. I'm your instructor, Todd Kolbeck. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Health Studies from the State University of New York. I'm a former instructor at the Natural Gourmet Cooking Institute. I'm certified as a health fitness instructor by the American College of Sports Medicine, and I'm also certified in Chinese herbology from Dow University. Currently, I'm a life and business coach at CCG Coaching. So let's take a look at the standard American diet. The standard American diet promotes chronic disease and suppresses immune function. Now, the standard American diet is 62% processed foods, oils, sweets, refined grains. Those are all those bad carbs. Now, 25.5% comes from meat, eggs, dairy, and fish. 10% of the standard American diet comes from unrefined plant food, such as fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds, and just 2.5% of the diet consists of whole grains. So in a nutshell, about 12% of the American diet consists of unrefined plant food and whole grains, and 88% is processed foods and meats. Now, in the first module, we talked about foods that can impact your heart. And the bad foods were primarily animal-based, and the good foods were primarily plant-based. And if you take a look at the standard American diet, basically 88% of the food that you're eating, or maybe not you, but let's say the standard American is eating, is from the left side here, that foods that are bad for your heart. Only 12% are foods that are good for your heart. Now, the USDA comes up with a recommendation to help you get away from that. Okay, so this is their recommendation: 6 to 11 servings of bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. But I will tell you, there's a big difference between bread, which is based on flour, and a whole grain. Even whole wheat bread is not a whole grain, it's made from flour. Cereal, there's Fruit Loops, and then there's oatmeal. Which one do you think is going to have a better impact on your health? There's white rice and brown rice, and then different types of pasta as well. So I think, it's better if you could get that a little bit more to the unprocessed food side. Next, 3 to 5 servings of vegetables, 2 to 4 servings of fruit. And I think right now the average American is somewhere between 1 to 3 on these. And those 1 to 3 are typically the same ones, maybe a glass of orange juice here and there, some tomatoes in a salad, soup once in a while. Then they recommend 2 to 3 servings of milk, yogurt, and cheese, 2 to 3 servings of meat, poultry, fish, dry beans, eggs, and nuts. And then right at the top, fats, oils, and sweets used sparingly. Now, I tell you, I think that even if you were to move to this model, it's still an improvement over the standard American model, right? That's still an improvement over this model here, right? So, this may not be perfect, but at least it's an improvement. But did you know that with this model, 2 to 3 servings of dairy, 2 to 3 servings of meat, well, if you take a look at some recent studies, diets high in meat, eggs, and dairy could be as harmful to health as smoking. So what are some better approaches to nutrition than the ones that we get from the USDA? Are there any available? Well, I'm going to talk about 3 today. Okay, one comes from a guy by the name of Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Now, I've seen him on the public television station before, having some programs. Interesting guy. He's an MD, and his philosophy is to eat the nutrient-dense way. He feels you want to have more of the foods that are lowest in calorie and highest in nutrients, such as green vegetables, raw vegetables, beans and legumes, eggplants, mushrooms, tomatoes, peppers, fresh fruit. And what's interesting about these foods is they fill you up because they're high in fiber, and you don't feel as hungry because you're getting all these nutrients and they're very delicious. Now, on the right hand side, you have foods that are the lowest in nutrients, the least fulfilling, the lowest in fiber, and the highest in calorie. Flour, oils, and sugars. And the issue with these foods are not only they're high in calorie, but because you're not getting nutrients, you always feel hungry. Your body says, hey, I need some more nutrients. You get that hunger pang, and so you find yourself hungry all the time eating this stuff, but never really feeling satisfied. So if you look at his food pyramid, vegetables are on the bottom, followed by fruits, beans and legumes. Next, whole grains, raw nuts and seeds. Fish, fat-free dairy, twice weekly or less. Think about that, twice weekly or less. Now, poultry, eggs, and oils, once weekly or less. So no one's saying to eliminate them and become a complete vegan, but, twice weekly or less. So between the two of them, 3 times a week. And then rarely beef, sweets, cheese and milk, processed foods, and hydrogenated oils. When you think about the amount of processed foods that you get in food today, you become just so accustomed to it, you don't even realize it sometimes. All these things, though, very, very rarely. Now, he calls this his nutritarian pyramid. It's based on foods that are the richest in micronutrients and have shown consistent benefits to health and longevity in scientific studies. He feels the USDA pyramid treats these protective foods as side dishes and allows the vast majority of calories to be obtained from nutrient-poor foods. Don't get me wrong, the USDA pyramid is still better than the standard American diet, but he feels even that isn't really going to help you get all the benefits that are available from food. And I will tell you, when you eat this way, you do feel full, it is lower in calorie, and it's tremendously satisfying because you incorporate such a wide variety of foods in your diet. Now, here's another pyramid. This one comes from the Harvard School of Public Health. And at the base of their pyramid, they've got daily exercise and weight control. What a concept, right? Next on their pyramid, they have whole grain foods. Key is whole grain foods at most meals, and then plant oils. So plant oils come from olive, canola, soy, corn, sunflower, peanuts, compared to other types of oils like Crisco, like let's say, for example, butter, cream cheese, right? Those are kind of animal-based, and you want to stay away from those and stick with the plant-based. So vegetables in abundance, fruit 2 to 3 servings. Nuts and legumes, 1 to 3 servings. Fish and poultry and eggs, here we go again, 0 to 2 servings. A dairy or calcium supplement, 1 to 2 servings. Red meat and butter used sparingly. White rice, white bread, potatoes, pasta, and sweets, sparingly. Those are those, let's say those refined carbohydrates again, sparingly. Okay, interesting, 2 completely different resources, yet similar conclusions. Now, I want to share a third pyramid with you, and this one is from Dr. Andrew Weil. Really interesting doctor. He calls this his anti-inflammatory diet pyramid. Dr. Weil feels a lot of the chronic disease that people are combating today has its roots in inflammation. And if you can control inflammation or reduce it, it has a tremendous impact on reducing these diseases. So in his studies, these are the foods that he feels reduce inflammation. And the foods that reduce inflammation the most are at the bottom. And then the foods that can still, have some impact on inflammation, you move up towards the top. So let's just take a look at this. So vegetables, he recommends 4 to 5 servings a day. Fruits, 3 to 4 a day. Whole grains, cracked grains, 3 to 5 a day. Pasta, he feels you need to cook the pasta al dente, and that way it retains more nutrients, 2 to 3 times a week. And then beans and legumes, 1 to 2 times a day. Now, healthy fats kind of takes me back to that Harvard study, those plant-based oils. You can also get those, in addition to your cooking oils, from things like nuts and seeds, walnuts, avocados. And he feels 5 to 7 servings a day. But let me tell you, when you look at nuts and you see a serving is very small. It's like 3 nuts. They're very high in calories. So you may think, a serving is a handful. No. If you're eating nuts, very high in calories. So a serving is, just look at the can, but you'll be surprised it's like 3 or 5, some small amount. But they're still incredibly nutrient dense and really, packed with nutrition. Now, fish and seafood, he recommends wild caught Alaskan salmon, Alaskan black cod, sardines. These are the foods that are high in these omega fatty acids. And the real key here is the farm raised fish, not so much. It's more the wild caught fish, particularly the fish that comes from the ocean, really high in those healthy oils, 2 to 6 times a week. Whole soy foods, which you can get from soy nuts, edamame, soy milk, tofu, tempeh, 1 to 2 times a day. Cooked Asia mushrooms. I'm going to tell you, if you ever take a look at anything that's been written or videos about mushrooms, they're amazing. It's a completely different class of plant called the fungus, and it's just incredible the health benefits that they pack. So he recommends them in unlimited amounts. Now, other sources of protein include high-quality natural cheeses and yogurt, omega-3 enriched eggs, skinless poultry, lean meats, 1 to 2 times a week. I'm going to tell you that may sound like not a lot, but believe me, when you get it, it tastes great. Just 1 to 2 times a week. All these other foods are so satisfying. It's nice to have, but after a while, you don't even miss it. 1 to 2 times a week. Now, healthy herbs and spices such as garlic, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, unlimited amounts. Tea. Now, he talks about some types of tea here, white, green, oolong. In essence, it's primarily, herbal teas as opposed to the Lipton variety. 2 to 4 cups a day. Supplements daily. Red wine, no more than 1 to 2 glasses a day. And at the very peak, healthy sweets such as dark chocolate, sparingly. Okay, interesting. Now, in summary, this is good nutrition. Okay, we want to move away from the standard American diet and towards a plant-based one. Take a look at these two different plates, right? Completely different. Here, you've got veggies representing about half your plate, healthy fats, maybe some salad dressing on your salad, some nuts or seeds, starches, and by the way, that salad dressing should be plant-based. Starches, including sweet potatoes, whole grains, bread, whole grain bread, hopefully. I like that Ezekiel bread you get in the freezer at the market. Okay, protein, plant proteins, including beans and legumes, and then water or tea. If you were to sort of move towards this, you could kind of reverse this from being just 12% of the heart-healthy, unrefined plant foods and whole grains to reverse it so that you're having about 80% of the heart-healthy foods and maybe just 12% of the processed foods and the animal-based products. This is pretty straightforward. It's not difficult to understand. You don't have to count calories. You just do it and you obtain these amazing benefits. So it's very simple. It's not that complicated, and it's delicious as you start introducing more and more of these new foods into your diet, and you feel better and you lose weight. So I'm going to tell you, I don't know that you could just go ahead and implement this stuff from watching a video. So I offer everyone who's participating in this program a complimentary one-to-one health makeover over the phone. And when you take a makeover, we can talk about how to blend these different foods together to impact certain things that you'd like to impact in your life. For example, your mood, your stress levels if you're a busy executive, your immunity, chilling out if you have trouble just relaxing and sleeping, what to eat if you're an athlete, what to eat to impact your hair, your skin, your nails, having more energy, just extending your life and reducing your disease. We can really target, one of these that you select to get started with in a one-to-one. And again, that's complimentary as a part of this program. So what I recommend as a next step is to begin reducing animal products and increase plant-based whole food products. Print out one of the 3 healthy pyramids and tape it to your fridge. That's what I did. And, you just look at that pyramid. It keeps you right on track, really easy to understand. Now, watch the next module that's coming up where I go deep on grains and legumes, and then schedule your free health makeover by sending an email to thesupersmoothie@protonmail.com. And in the subject line, just put makeover and include your contact information, and either me or my assistant will follow up with you to schedule. I want to thank you very much for participating and look forward to seeing you in the next module on grains and legumes.